Chosen vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man Druuill, and I'm back at you again with another video. I need each and every vessel to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the Galactic family, the GCVs, and Drew Nation. Let's get right into it. Look, what opening up and talking to random strangers taught me about narcissism and people and how they abuse others. All right, let's discuss this. When you're first trying to figure out what's going on as far as the relationships you have with certain people or your connections that you have with certain people, why they may not be like everybody else's, why you have struggled to connect with certain people that you've known, and you were just trying to figure some things out. You would be around people that you knew, or you would be around friends or family or whoever you would be around, and you would feel uncomfortable. And this will go just for as far as new people as well. And but not so much as far as what we're talking about in this video. These are just things that you would notice. All right, you know how you would be around certain people and everybody else would be fitting in, but you wouldn't necessarily fit in. You wouldn't felt like you didn't feel like you fit in with everyone. You felt like an outcast. You felt like you didn't belong. You felt like you weren't a part of like whatever you were a part of. And when you would try to like ask people questions and talk to people about it, you would get gaslit. And it's because a lot more people are negative and abusers and enablers than you think. Not to say the whole world's like that, because it's not like that. There's a lot of good people out there, but there's a lot more people out there that are negative than you think. Just because you say there are a lot more people that are out there that are negative than you think doesn't mean that the whole entire world is evil or everybody's a bad person. All right. So what opening up to people and asking people questions, because before I knew this was like a internal thing, before I knew this was like something that you gotta like do research on and look up and stuff like that, I would just ask people questions and talk to people about it. And I got like some of the worst answers that I could have ever gotten. Like I asked some of the worst people that I could have ever asked. Like people will act like they don't even know what you're talking about. And when you're trying to like figure something out and get answers, that's jacked up. When you can't find the answer, it's like, yo, what is the holdup? What's the dilemma? You'll talk to people, you'll ask them questions. I was getting an Uber ride home after after something. All right, I had got an Uber ride home, and I was in the car, and obviously, but I asked this dude, I'm like, yo, have you ever experienced this? Did you ever go through this? He's like, oh, my sister's like you, or you sound like my sister, or whatever he said. And basically his response was just like, he just leaned towards like more towards the abuser, and not like and any care about the actions that were being given out, or the actions that were taking place. So it's like, you don't care about how the person feels because of what you did to them. And it's just like, yo, it is what it is. But see, that's why it's something you deal with on your own. And that's what it taught me, asking people, trying to figure it out, trying to talk to people before I knew like this was something that you deal with internally. And this is something that you have to figure out on your own. I just, I started asking questions. Instead of asking people questions, I just started looking things up. So as a result, it taught me to like look things up. And it taught me that you can't really trust, not to say you can't trust people, but it's just, you can't trust the things that people say when you have like, I guess, personal questions. or certain questions, like you can't really depend on what somebody else has to say, because when you're unaware of like when you're unaware of what's going on, it really won't make a difference anyway, because you're not sure if you're getting the right answers, or the person could be manipulating you or gaslighting you to keep you stuck suffering, something that narcissists love to see people do. And these people love to watch other people suffer. So the worst thing you could do is tell another narcissist is, hey, or no, the worst thing you could do is ask another narcissist is how to get out from up under another narcissist. They're going to tell you things they're not going to tell you anything to advance. All right. And this is how I knew. All right. It was after like Thanksgiving or something like that. And I had asked, I was like just getting an Uber ride back. And I asked the dude, I'm like, yo, man, some like non-normal things are like going on. It's like weird. I'm like just trying to relate to people and just be around. But it's like, it like they're making it hard for me to want to be around them and whatever I had contemplated at the time. I'm like, yo, I'm like, they're making it difficult for me to like even want to be there. I'm like, I try to be there, but it's like, basically my explanation was, I don't feel good when I'm around them, and I feel better when I leave. That was my explanation. And that is the number one sign. They say that wherever you're at, it's a toxic environment. When you go somewhere and then when you leave, you feel better, right? Because the reason why you don't feel good is because it's toxic. You can pick up on the energy, especially if you're an empath. If you deal with energy, you can pick up on it intuitively. All right, you got high, strong intuition. You could pick up on these things, and you could feel people's vibes, and you could see through people's true intentions. All right. So and plus, when you're in a toxic environment, when you're around more than one toxic person at a time, it's like you're stepping into the lion's den, like you're in the Bible or something. And it's like you willingly just walk right into it. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate we have to look at it that way, but that's the way it is. So in order to correct these things, you're going to have to, as we say, separate to elevate. You're going to have to distance yourself from certain people, obviously. But early on, when you're trying to figure this thing out and you're asking questions, you don't know whether you're right or wrong. And you don't understand, you don't even understand what's happening. You just know what you feel. You just know that when you get around certain people, it's like difficult to be around them because it's not anything that you're doing, but they're making it hard for you to be around them. And the harder they make it for you to be around them, the less you want to be around them, and the less you can be around them, because it's going to start taxing your spirit, and it's going to start like draining your energy. And once you start getting your energy drained, once you start getting tired of being around certain people and feeling a certain way every time you get around them, it's like, yo, I'm not going to keep putting myself back in this situation. I'm not going to keep putting myself in this predicament, like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me kind of thing. It's like somebody is just abusing themselves at that point if you keep putting yourself in a toxic environment. So asking people and opening up about this is kind of like, it's something that you should just seek like actual help. Like, don't ask random people questions about this, because you never know. The person might be a narcissist themselves. And that's the worst thing you could do, is try to talk to a narcissist about like trying to leave one or trying to escape. They're not going to tell you anything or give you any viable information. All they're going to do is try to keep you trapped because they want to see you suffer. And they know that's one more person that's not happy, not living their life, and suffering. All right. So, yo, it's kind of raining. I'm about to get my umbrella, and I'm about to, finish this video and do a part 2. Peace out. All right. Look, let's get right into it. Look, I'm back. I'm dry. All right. Let's get into it. Look, yo, when opening up, all right, you got to be careful. And it's not even really raining like that now. But anyway, when opening up about these things to people, you really gotta be careful who you're talking to. All right. Some people will, like I said, they'll want to keep you trapped. They're low-key enablers, and they could care less what happens to you, honestly. But because you're telling them something negative, and unfortunately these people thrive off of the misfortune of others, they're not going to be too inclined to give you any positive feedback about your story. So when you have questions about things, it's best to look them up. You utilize the internet, all right? Utilize your library, all right? Find some books on these subjects, you know? But, I mean, you got to find out what you're dealing with at first. So that's why it's always good to do some research, all right? You don't know what's happening to you until you find out. And even when dealing with these kinds of things at work, trying to talk to these people, trying to talk to people about things that may happen at your job, other coworkers, when you're unaware, and when you're really stepping into this thing and you're first starting to wake up and you're just trying to figure things out, that's when a lot of people end up getting taken advantage of, because you are like naive and kind-hearted, and you don't see that there's a lot of evil and negative people out there. So you're just like, you may have one bad experience with someone, but you may not be aware that there's more people out there like this than you originally had thought. So now you're just asking random people, trying to figure things out, but at least some of the people that you ask are going to have this condition. And when you start describing this person to themselves, this type of person to themselves, and then you ask a question about them, by default, they're going to gaslight you, because that's their only defense mechanism, because they don't want you to figure them out either. None of these people want to get figured out. So, but everything happens for a reason. Asking people questions about this just led me to my own discoveries. It's not even raining now. Look at that. Oh, the irony. But yeah, asking questions just led me to my own discoveries. So even though I didn't find any answers early on from asking people, I found out. I ended up finding out what I wanted to know, because God led me in the right direction. And that's what I did. I always asked God to lead me in the right direction when it came to this, so that way I could figure things out and have some understanding. Because when it comes to spiritual warfare, and when it comes to like being a scapegoat, and when it comes to certain dynamics and relationships, you don't have anybody else to turn to. So when you're trying to figure things out, you just call on God, you ask him, talk to him about it. He'll lead you and direct you in the right way. It's a lot of confusion that happens at first, and you really don't know where to turn. So I'm really just fortunate that it didn't get too bad. And you should be grateful too that it didn't get too bad for you either. And if it did, be grateful for the fact that you could recover and you can heal. All right. So talking to people about narcissism, or what I didn't even know was narcissism at the time, it made me doubt myself. Because, like I said, a lot of these people, they want to keep you stuck. They don't want to tell you how to get from up under it, because they'll have to give away some of their manipulation tactics. And they're not going to do that. It's just all one big club of manipulation. And If somebody sees someone else that's like not in the club, you're not going to get any of the information. They're not really going to help you like that. They're just going to keep you in the shadows. They'll gaslight you, have you gaslighting yourself, have you doubting yourself, until you really start to realize and figure out what's going on. You'll start to see that it's just mind games. People love playing mind games. And one thing that will happen is when you try to talk to people about these things, they'll play mind games with you. And that's what originally just like pushed me to just start figuring this thing out on my own. Because once I asked people questions about people playing mind games, and then the people you ask questions about the mind games start playing mind games, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave that one alone. It's like I'll pass on that. I'm gonna see about figuring this thing out on my own, because obviously asking people about this is not gonna help. But this isn't an easy thing to go through, but you will get through it. A lot of people keep people in a loop. They want to keep you in a loop. Some people can see what you're going through as clear as day. Between coworkers, managers, bosses, family. People see it. But it's something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. Most people just mind their business, and a lot of people don't want to get involved, and you can't blame them. Not everybody is an angel. Not everybody is trying to help people. And it's not like you're trying to save the whole world. It's just like, dang, now one person could have looked out for me. Now one person could have said something. Now one person could have tried to warn me. And the thing is, it's so deep that if anybody did try to warn you, you might have even turned on them. How deep the manipulation is, you might have even turned on them. Not my so-and-so. They would never do that. Don't talk about them like that. Now you're looking at this person like they're the devil in the flesh. And really, they were your prayer, and they were your prayer and answer. They were the answer to your prayer in human form. In all reality, they were the answer to your prayer in human form. They told you the truth, and the truth hurted. And because the truth hurted, you got mad at them, didn't believe them, wrote them off, told yourself what they said couldn't be true, and all they were trying to do was help. Everybody's after the mind. That's why you have to learn how to protect your mind, because it's warfare. You have to learn how to protect your mind, because there are people trying to fight against it, trying to fight for it, trying to make you docile. People that are intimidated by you are going to do the most damage to you if they're close to you. So that's a dangerous combination for somebody to be close to you and to be intimidated by you or jealous of you. It's not a good combination, because their actions are going to be irrational. They're going to love you one minute and then hate you the next minute. And that's where you get the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde dynamic from in a relationship. One minute somebody acts like this, the next minute they act like that. It causes confusion in a person. And if they can't see through it clearly, it'll cause them to not be able to make decisions, because the person can't leave. They doubt themselves. When you start to doubt yourself in one area, you start to doubt yourself in other areas as well. So this is why it's definitely when you're dealing with things that you're unsure about, especially when you don't know what you're dealing with. This is why it's always important to have a connection with your higher self and your higher power and God. Because sometimes when the devil throws things at you, you may not know how to take it. You may not know where it's coming from, how it's coming from, when it's coming from. You may not know how to deal with it. You may not know what you're up against, who you're up against. So when things get, when things get difficult, you're confused, you may not know what to do. God's always there for you. And you got to count on him and rely on him, especially in times of confusion, when you're not aware of what's going on. You don't know what's going on. People don't want you to know what's going on. Not even the abusers, but other people, enablers. Like, people just want you to stay stuck in some abuse. A lot of people can see the good in you guys. A lot of people can see the things that others see that don't treat you right. So when you go to ask for help and go to ask them questions, they're going to look at you like, imagine if you're asking the same type of person for help, which is the same type of person you're trying to get help from. I mean, the same person you're asking help for is the same person you're trying to get help from. So you never know. That's why you got to be, you have to be you got to start to be an expert in certain areas where you want to be successful at. Whether it's human relations, whether it's with business, whether it's in life, whatever it is, whatever you want to be successful at, you got to become an expert at it. So if you're feeling that something shady is going on with people, all right, by now you already know what it is now. So it's not like we got to act like you got to discover it. You already know it's narcissism. It's all this types of stuff we talk about in these videos. So it's good that you're looking things up. It's good that you're watching videos like this. It's good that you're doing research, because you want to figure out what's going on around you. You want to be aware of the world around you and all the worlds that around you that are there, that exist. Like before, this was a whole world you knew nothing about. You were just going around people and thinking everything was all good and just wondering why certain people left you feeling the way they did. When you were around them, you were in a whole separate world than them, and they were in a whole separate world than you. But you don't know that at first. You think everybody's on the same page, and you're not wrong for that. You got to forgive yourself for that. You can't hold yourself accountable for that. So take it easy on yourself, because how else would you know unless you knew? So now that you know, you got to go back, forgive yourself, let go of some resentment, let go of some of the negativity some people did, let go of some of the harm they did, free up your heart space, free up your mind space, free up some space for the energy in your life to flow more freely. Clean your aura up, clean your energy field up, make your spirit lighter, make you feel better of a person. You're releasing that trauma and letting things go now that you know how to. And that's another reason too. They want to keep you in the dark because they don't want you to heal. One thing a broken, hurt person can't stand is somebody that's trying to bring that broken and hurtness and that pain to the surface and trying to find some clarity, trying to heal. A broken person that's not concerned with healing or getting better does not want to be around somebody that's concerned with healing and getting better. This is one of the reasons why certain people treat you the way they do in the first place, is because, number one, you are a healer, and number two, you heal yourself. You don't stay in the dark. You do shadow work. When there's darkness in your life, you go right into it. Head first, spirit first, soul first, heart first, God first. You take that darkness head on. You don't allow it to overcome you or overtake you. You deal with it. I hope you all can hear the rain coming down on my umbrella. I hope it's relaxing for you and satisfying, like some Asmere kind of weather type sounds, while I speak some good positive things for you to listen to. So don't take it hard on yourself for going through narcissistic abuse. If you would have known better, you would have shown better. If you knew that these people were treating you a certain way or talking to you a certain way, you wouldn't have let it happen. You just thought they were maybe having a bad day, or you thought that was just them, or thought that's just the way they were. Thought it might have been something that you did. I'm here to tell you, you're not to blame. You're not the one to blame. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel bad for yourself for going through this. This is the type of things that create champions. These are the types of circumstances that create some of the best people. Some of the best people rise up from adversity. And you're one of those people. You're somebody who rises up from adversity. You're somebody who overcomes negativity. You're somebody who shines out in the rain. So keep your head held high, stick your chest out, walk with some integrity, walk with some confidence, walk with some bravery, some courageousness, because you're a soldier, you're a warrior, you're a fighter. To have gone through these things and still be here, to have not taken yourself out like they wanted you to have not harmed yourself like they wanted you to have not destroyed your life like they wanted you to. Some people wanted you to destroy your life over what they did to you. But you're too strong for that. You're too strong for that. They wanted you to destroy your life. They wanted you to give in. They wanted you to not be able to go on any longer. And that messed up. But the thing is, they forgot how powerful you were. They forgot that you believe in God. They forgot that you're stronger than they thought. They thought you were weak. But the thing is, they're the weak one. And with their ego and their false sense of self, they see themselves as more powerful than you. So they're judging their strength they're judging your strength according to their weakness. So they that's why they're so astounded at how you always rise up to the occasion. You always come out on top. You always surpass their evil tricks and plots and schemes. You always overcome them. It's because you get your strength from God, number one. And for number two, I guess maybe they get a sense of evil from the devil. I guess they get a rush. They get a sense of demonic energy. But it's still not more powerful than what we have. All right? So if you're intimidated, you're thinking with the wrong mind. You're not thinking with the Christ mind. If you're depleted, if you're tired, if you're feeling like you can't go on, you're not thinking with your Christ mind. And it's okay to not be thinking with your Christ mind, because there are some people that saw you and you were just too positive. You were too strong. You were too happy. You were too successful seeming, appearing, too loving. And they wanted to turn you into something else. And that something else was something that they would feel more comfortable around. No matter how damaged, no matter how hurt, no matter how destroyed you were. They said, you know what? We're going to change you so we can feel more comfortable around you, because we're not comfortable around the person that you are. We need to mold you to fit our standards so that way we can feel better about ourselves. And that destroyed a part of you, but only a small part of you. It can't, the part of you that they destroyed, they can't stop you from being who you are. That part is so insignificant. And on top of it, you can heal yourself. You could heal that part of you. You could build yourself back up. You still may never be the same person, but you'll be a better person, a stronger person, a more healed person. You'll still be the same version of you. You'll just be stronger, more aware. You'll be able to take more. You'll be able to endure more. Your endurance will go up. Your strength will go up. Your courage will go up. Everything about you will improve behind these things. It's like they put you in a hyperbolic chamber or something. All right, they put these types of things, put so much types of stress under a person that they create a person who can do amazing, great things. And this is why God has us go through these things, because what we go through helps us become who we're supposed to be. So the things that we're going through are making us stronger and are giving us the power to take on everything that we have to face in life. So we're really blessed at the end of the day for our situation. And this is how you turn a miracle and a dream out of a nightmare and a disaster. You look for the good in it. You don't look for somebody else's opinion. You may be trying to get help for this, but if this person is not going through what you're going through, if this person doesn't care about what you're going through, if this person is an enabler, you're not going to get this right here. You're not going to get what we got going on right here. So it's important to ask God to guide you and lead you in the right direction. That's why you stumbled upon this video in the first place, is because God loves us. And he wants us to know certain things and be aware of certain things, so that way we can make the right changes in our life, so that way we can have the life that we were made to have. Because unfortunately, some people don't want you to have the life that you were created to have. They see that you were created to have a great life, and they wanted to create a life for you that you hated. They wanted to create so much negativity that you wouldn't be happy, you wouldn't be satisfied, you wouldn't be content, you wouldn't be fulfilled. And a lot of people don't want you to get there because they're not there themselves. And it's just the way it is, right? When you're trying to figure out why certain people are the way they are, and you're still trying to figure out yourself, you gotta pat yourself on the back. You're going through something that not everybody else is going through. You see everybody else at your job, they're happy, they have friends. Everybody is, they're all buddy, they're all cool, they're all clicked up, and you're alone. There's nobody for you to talk to. You feel alone at home, you feel alone with your family, you feel alone with your friends, you feel alone with people at your job, if you have any friends. No matter where you go, you always feel alone. And you always feel like it's nobody that can understand you. And on top of that, people want to ostracize you. People want to outcast you. People want to blacklist you and scapegoat you and abuse you on top of that. So not only do you have to feel like the odd man out and made to feel awkward your whole life, on top of that, people are going to talk about you behind your back, have negative, bad things to say, and then try to smile in your face. But luckily, we have the gift and the spirit of discernment, and we can see, and not only see, but feel these things. That's why you get that feeling of that's why you get that feeling before you go to work sometimes that you don't want to go. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're tired. It's not that you're irresponsible. You don't want to go because your higher self can feel the negative energy coming off these people and permeating off their spirit because of what they're thinking and all the negativity they speak about you at that job. Otherwise, if that wasn't so, you wouldn't feel like that. Your spirit wouldn't feel conflicted on your way to work. This is why I always talk about becoming wealthy and becoming rich, so that way you can prevent having to go to those types of places where people are letting out certain energies and certain frequencies that drain you and bring you down. Because wherever you go where you're tolerated and not accepted, you're going to be drained. Because toleration is fakeration and hateration. So opening up and talking to random people, random strangers, it taught me that this is something that I'm going to have to deal with on my own. And I just have to accept that this is my walk. Because I would always just open up to people and ask people questions about certain things. Because I always had an inquisitive mind. But I just found out that certain things, it's best to just figure out on your own. Certain things you don't ask people. Certain things you don't ask at work. All right. Even if you are experiencing it at work, don't ask them people. Don't talk to them people about it. They may even start treating you worse. So be careful who you talk to about these things. All right. Now that you're aware of them, you know you don't have to go ask anyone. You could do your own research. But just be careful when you're unaware of things, when you don't know what you're going through, you don't know what you're experiencing, and you're trying to get some answers. Because there are enablers out here. So you can't trust man. You got to trust God. You have to go to God. And you have to be patient and wait on that answer. So be patient. Wait on your answer. If you need anything answered, your answers are coming. All right. The answer is already in you right now. Just wait for God in you to reveal it. Thank God in you for the answer. Thank God in you for revealing the answer. Anything you need answered, the answer's already there. It will come to you. Just be patient. Ask God in you to reveal it. And in due time, you'll have your answer. It'll come to you in a dream. It'll come to you while you're thinking. It'll come to you while you're brushing your teeth or while you're driving, while you're preparing dinner. It'll pop up. It'll come to you. See yourself already thanking God and being excited and being happy. And this is how you get the answer for anything. Already see God giving you the answer ahead of time. So that way you won't have to go to anybody. And this isn't even questions about this type of topic. People don't really want to help chosen ones with nothing. So it's like anybody else could go get help. Anybody else could go get answers. Anybody else will have the time to sit down and speak to someone and help them. But when it comes to chosen ones, they like, yo, you got to figure this out on your own. Your energy is too strong for me to even sit down and want to help you because, you're different than us. So we're not really going to assist you the way we assist everybody else. You're going to have to rely on that super intelligent brain that we all know you have. And that's why they don't want to help you, because if you're so smart, why do I have to help you? If you're so smart, I thought you didn't want to talk to me. Nobody's going to want to talk to a toxic person. And it's like, these are the people that we have to go get help from sometimes. So it's like, this is why it's important to rely on God. You never know who is toxic in disguise, who will give you misinformation on purpose. Oh no, you're not really experiencing that. You just had a bad time. It's really not that bad. It's not what you're thinking. It's just all in your head. You're just too sensitive. You're just a little emotional. That's all. Gaslighting the crap out of you. No, that's you. That's you seeing that. We don't see that. We don't see that. I don't see that in him. I don't see that in her. That's just you. You're the one experiencing that. Nobody else is experiencing that here. That's just you. Well, we're not feeling that from her. We're not feeling that from him. I was just working with him yesterday. I was just talking to her yesterday. Those people don't pose those and it always struck me oddly. It's like, yo, y'all don't pose no threat to her. And it's like I always knew it was something different about me than other people. And I'm sure you guys knew you could relate. Other people telling you, well, I don't get that from her. She's not intimidated by you. She's not, you don't make her feel insecure like she does. You don't make him feel insecure like he does. Y'all are making them feel insecure. The people who are enabling you and telling you that this person is that and all that, the other, they're either in the group or they're not causing no conflict. They're not creating no enemies. They don't got the sauce like that anyway. So how would they know? All up in the Kool-Aid, don't even know the flavor kind of thing. So it's like people either aren't going to be able to help you, they're going to give you misinformation, or they ain't going to want to help you. And misinformation is one in the two. They don't want to help you, and they can't help you because they don't want to. All right. So this has been another DruTube special. Keep your head up, everybody. because we're going to get through this, all right? No matter how bad people want to treat us or how poorly people want to treat us, God has a plan for us, and we're gonna rise to the top. We're gonna get ahead in life. We're gonna overcome these little negative situations with spiritual warfare and narcs and haters and energy vampires, people trying to destroy your life. We're gonna get above these things. They can't destroy our finances forever. They can't destroy our life forever. They can't do anything that we don't allow them to do. All right, anything that they try to do, we could always plan and plot against their plans and plots and schemes. All right, we could always use God and ask God to give us a plan and deliver us from anything that the enemy is doing. So that's why you're supposed to not cease to stop praying. All right, so whatever you're going through, pray through it. Talk to God through it. That's what he's there for. He will get you through it. If you're focused on what you're going through, you're not praying hard enough. You need to be praying through it. All right. So we're all going to come out on top. We're all going to rise to the top. We're all going to become victorious. And the people that are up against us, they're all going to lose. All our enemies are going to be underneath our feet. All our enemies are going to be destroyed utterly and completely for good. All right. And if they come back up against us, we're going to knock them back down again. All right. So stay strong, everybody. All right. We're gonna win. We already won. And that's all there is to it. They tried to defeat us, but they couldn't win because we're on the winning team. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. All right, another real Druuill special. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Don't forget to subscribe. Routine maintenance on the way out. I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace, love, and light. We out.